My name is Emmanuel Wa-Kyendo. A brief on economic complexity, and concluding, I will look at the state of the world economy. Now, economic complexity is a measure of the intensity of knowledge within an economy of a defined geographic region, whether it be a neighborhood, a city, an administrative region, or a whole country. This measure is a critical indicator of the future trajectory of per capita incomes because the intensity of knowledge required to produce a product is highly correlated with the incomes the producers of that country or of that product will earn. It is worth exploring, therefore, alongside the global peace indices, the Fragile States Index, and the Human Freedom Index to understand the state of the world and constraints and dynamics that the world is facing. Designed by Ricardo Hausmann and Cesar Hidalgo, the economic complexity framework holds that in order to crystallize the complex creations of their imaginations, creators with high levels of know-how must work together. The more complex the product they would like to produce, the greater the impossibility that they can hold all the requisite know-how in their singular minds, let alone the know-how embodied in physical capital that must itself be paid for. Together, the indices of negative and positive peace and the Fragile States Index and the Human Freedom Index demonstrate that the regions of the world with the highest freedoms are also the wealthiest. Knocked against the Economic Complexity Index, the implications of the aforementioned indices seem to be that those minds that devise the most complex ideas must also be free to look for and find each other, to enter into contractual relationships, to carry out the requisite research, patent licensing, product ideation, and production, and overall to discover the equilibria across these disparate markets in order to generate high value products. So, the least developed countries in the world face 28.3% trade weighted applied US tariffs, the highest in the world. Developing countries, excluding China, faced 19.2% trade weighted applied US tariffs, the second highest in the world. The world's small open economies are facing political headwinds in addition to the trade cycles that typify economic life in the world. These economies must prioritize multilateralism for the negotiation and treaty enforcement efficiencies it provides and the welfare outcomes it proffers. It is true that on a case-by-case basis, these nations will have to contend with the costs of transitioning into open economies, with households and/or firms facing the risks posed by stiffer global competition and the peculiar political economies of, say, latent protectionism that make it difficult, the peculiar political economies, right, that make it difficult to pursue multilateralism and trade openness. The wealthiest regions in the world on a per capita and absolute basis are the most peaceful, possessed institutions with the highest capacities and capabilities compared to the stresses they presently face, and had the highest concentration of human freedoms of any region in the world. Finally, economic complexity is an emergent reality requiring environments of local and global policy stability and predictability. This should be on the minds of policymakers as they navigate uncharted policy waters and seek to maximize household and firm welfare. So, what are you asking your lawmaker to do if you are in a Kenyan? You're asking your lawmaker, why is my country erecting such high barriers to imports of foods that I need, imports like sugar, when I'm spending more than half of my income on food? Why is the government, through you, installing a blockade on me, and I'm the citizen, I live here? Number two, why is the government maintaining not being forthright about supporting multilateralism When countries like Finland have laid it down and said, look, we need to work together to solve the world's problems, why is my country not there saying, yes, yes, we need to, because I cannot afford to deal with the world's problems alone as a single country with a small economy with very low bargaining power in the world? Why am I not opening up? These are the questions for your lawmaker, your MCA. I forget what that stands for. Your member of county assembly and your member of parliament, your governor, your senators, and your executive members, the cabinet secretaries, all of them. You need to be asking them why. Why is this state of affairs such that I'm facing both the challenges posed by a more volatile world and then the challenges posed by you, my lawmaker? Why is my lawmaker not doing this for me? I've been Emmanuel.